Who have Shakur? What have Shakur done? What have he done in the sport? He haven't done nothing. The young one is looking more better than him.
Only person I can really give salute to is Shakur because he grew up with us. You know, that's why I get on Shakur. You know, sometimes he changes his media, try to be that tough guy, big dad. Let's keep it real. We grew up together. Me and your grandfather, we cool.
No, that was a little kid. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, I seen him fight his last fight. He was tired in that 12 round.
Gervonta "Tank" Davis has finally snapped, and this time it's personal. The undefeated boxing superstar took to social media in a fiery rant aimed directly at fellow fighter Shakur Stevenson after disturbing allegations surfaced that Stevenson disrespected and allegedly trash-talked Davis's longtime mentor and trainer, Calvin Ford. Known for their close father-son-like bond, Davis was quick to defend Ford, unleashing a storm of raw emotion and threats that stunned fans and insiders alike. With tensions in the boxing world already high, this explosive outburst could mark the beginning of a deeply personal feud that goes far beyond the ring.
I keep telling y'all, he say he's the king, and this Vicious right here. I ain't never seen a king hold his kingdom down when you have a vicious crew come through. We coming through. You hear what I say? We vicious. We ain't just boxing. We doing this. Be prepared. Stop playing with my youngin'. Stop playing with my youngin'.
Calvin Ford has been far more than just Gervonta Davis's trainer. He's been a mentor, guide, and stabilizing force since Davis was a child growing up in West Baltimore. Ford met Tank at age 7 at Upton Boxing Center and helped steer him away from street life and into boxing. After Ford's own 10-year prison term, he dedicated his life to youth mentorship, shaping Davis into a 3-division champion. Within the ring, Ford hones Davis's technique. Outside, he offers life counsel. He also helps Davis manage high-profile relationships, especially with Floyd Mayweather, acting as both confidant and protector.
You know, Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody know him. Everybody know him at work.
Remember, Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 foot in and 1 foot out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it, like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left, and unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like that. Do you want him to go to jail, or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
Ford's coaching style is rooted in a deep understanding of the sweet science of boxing. He emphasized technical precision, footwork, and defensive skills, which complemented Davis's natural power and athleticism. Their collaboration was a perfect synergy of raw talent and strategic mastery.
Tank was the first one in the gym, the last one out the gym. Tank used to sit on the ring like this and watch me train him.
How old is he at this point?
He was like 7, 8.
Okay.
A lot of stuff that I was giving my son was giving it to Tank. So it was a perfect fit. Tank was like the family, you know what I'm saying? And he used to sit at the table because I had another kid named Ramon Manning. He liked to play with them guns, you know what I'm saying? And when I lost him, I was hurt because that was my first time losing a fighter that you put so much into. Remember, I said, Tank, my money running out. And he just looked at me and said, believe in me, coach. Believe. That's what did it.
When he said that, that's...
It's still...
Damn.
I don't hear Tank as the day. I hear Tank as that little boy. Believe in me, coach. And he came in the gym one day and he said, Coach, I seen it. I said, what you seen? I had all the belts on me. He said, I'm gonna be that dude. The rest is history.
Damn, I got goosebumps low-key. That's kind of crazy.
In early January 2024, reports surfaced that Calvin Ford had been arrested on charges of assault with a deadly weapon in Nevada. According to TalkSport, Ford was taken into custody by Baltimore police and was awaiting transfer to Nevada to face the charges. Following Ford's arrest, Gervonta Davis announced a professional separation from his longtime trainer. Davis expressed his respect for Ford, but emphasized the need to focus on his career and personal growth during this period. He stated, "I've always respected Calvin and what he's done for my career, but at the end of the day, I have to do what's best for me and my team."
What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So we have some very, very unfortunate news that has broken. Hopefully it proves not to be true. And that involves Gervonta Tank Davis, undefeated 3-division world champion, 5-time world champion, superstar boxer, who is widely acknowledged as the face of the sport of boxing, if not one of the faces. His longtime trainer, mentor, big brother, uncle, father figure, and Coach Calvin Ford. Now we know Coach Calvin Ford has been arrested recently. Over the past week, he has been arrested. And now more details are surfacing as he's still detained. And Coach Calvin is in some very hot water, according to these accusations, allegedly. So he's been detained, he's been arrested, and he's been in jail ever since. And you hear his partner, longtime partner, training partner, and his assistant trainer, Coach Kenny Ellis, and his fighters, they keep saying free Coach Calvin, so on and so forth. If you don't know the backstory and the history of Coach Calvin Ford, you look at the show The Wire, and he's one of the characters on The Wire that, was in the streets, went to jail, got his life together, became a trainer in the sport of boxing, and, opened up Upton Boxing Gym out there in Baltimore.
Gervonta Davis and Calvin Ford had briefly parted ways before the Lamont Roach fight. Davis confirmed the split during an Instagram live session, describing it as a mutual decision. In a recent interview, Ford provided insights into the reasons behind their separation, emphasizing that the decision was made in the best interest of both parties. The split from Ford marks a significant transition in Davis's career. While the full impact remains to be seen, Davis has expressed confidence in his ability to continue his success in the ring. He remains focused on his upcoming bouts and is determined to maintain his status as one of boxing's top competitors.
Who do you want to see? You, as a guy that's in his trainer, that's like a father figure to him, you're training him all the time, you know him, both y'all from the streets of Baltimore the whole bit. Who do you want to see Tank fight next?
I want him to get all of them that ran their mouth.
Give me the names. I need names, Calvin. I need names.
You already know. We went down to, we working on the big four. It was Garcia. That's the first one. Roma, I hope we get him soon. Shakur, he's going to get it. He know he's going to get it. It's just Bob is in charge of that. You know what I'm saying? Bob know what he's doing over there. You can't tell Bob how to run his game because he's like a vet at this. He's been doing it for so many years. That's going to happen. All the fights that we'll want, they have no choice. They're going to take the fight when it's time to take the fight. It's just right now, who's going to take the fight? That's the question.
Gervonta Davis's underwhelming showing against Lamont Roach sparked widespread disappointment and raised questions about whether he's still at his peak. Many fans noted he never unleashed his trademark power or sharpness. The conspicuous absence or estrangement of longtime trainer Calvin Ford only fueled speculation that Davis was off his game without his pillar and mentor in his corner. Observers suggest this disruption contributed to Davis appearing slower and less focused than usual, with some even blaming the internal tension for his lack of sharpness against Roach.
So breaking news, Tank Davis vs. Lamont Roach 2 is set for August 16th in Las Vegas. And this is a rematch of one of the most controversial fights in recent memory, where Roach arguably won 7 to 8 rounds of that fight, and then Tank took a voluntary knee in round 9, which wasn't ruled a knockdown, but ultimately it was scored a majority draw. Now in the rematch, I do expect Tank to look much better than he did in the first fight. I don't think that was his best performance by any means. And that means being more active in the early rounds, not just staying on the ropes looking for counters. And I'm sure he'll be willing to exchange more with Roach this time around. The left hands, the combinations, the body shots, that's where he had the most success in the first fight. And Roach, he just needs to stick to what made him so successful in the first fight. His forward pressure, staying behind that jab and right hand. But most importantly, he wasn't scared to take it at Tank, but he also didn't get too aggressive. Most of Tank's opponents, if they're scared of the power, they'll sit back on the ropes, get slowly broken down, or if they end up getting too aggressive, they get caught with the counterpunch. But Roach, he was sharp that whole fight. I would go Tank in the rematch. I think he has a lot more to show this time around. But Roach did prove to be a very tough test. But you guys let me know who you got.
Davis squared off against Lamont Roach Jr. at Brooklyn's Barclays Center on March 1st, 2025. The night promised fireworks and delivered them far beyond the ring. A highly competitive clash that defined Tank's historic dominance ended in a stunning majority draw, halting his flawless record, his first professional blemish. Tensions within his camp, fueled by Coach Calvin Ford's animated presence, added layers to the story. The dramatic pause in the 9th round, when Davis inexplicably took a knee following a jab, sparked outrage and debate, overshadowing the scorecards. As the crowd processed the unresolved verdict, whispers about an immediate rematch began to swell, promising a much-anticipated sequel to this electrifying showdown.
So, Rick Glazer is reporting that Gervonta Davis and Lamont Roach sold 149,000 pay-per-view buys. And he tweeted this report at Turkey Ala Sheik. Coincidence? Truthful? Do you trust Rick Glazer's reporting on this issue? If you do, let me know why. If you don't, let me know why not. But you best believe I have a long video coming on this later today. Y'all be sure to check that out. We'll see y'all soon. Peace.
Without Ford in his corner, Davis ended up drawing Roach, the first blemish on his record, prompting widespread speculation that Ford's absence had cost Tank strategically. Shortly after, the firestorm prompted a reunion. Ford returned to training camp, reinforcing their emotional and tactical unity. Davis praised the reconnection, visibly relieved to have his longtime mentor back in his corner. A full-circle moment that both reignited trust heading into the rematch.
You know, Calvin, he been with me since I was 7. I used to sleep in Coach Calvin's house. I used to sleep at his job when he was working at a seafood restaurant in Baltimore.
When I had to train Tank, when I didn't want him to get in trouble and I wanted to make sure we was together, I used to take him to work with me. And he'd chill. Everybody knew him. Everybody knew him at work.
Remember, Calvin used to fuss at the guys that was coming up with me, and they was in the streets a lot. He was telling them, like, you can't have 1 feet in and 1 feet out. You gotta be, like, all the way in it, like, focus on the goal, you know, and them guys, they went left, and unfortunately, they got killed.
You weigh the odds out like that. Do you want him to go to jail or you want him to live? That's the whole idea, to come to the boxing gym.
If I ain't had the people I had around me, like the people that started with me and things like that, I probably would have been off the scene for a long time.
However, Davis has enlisted a new coach ahead of his rematch, signaling a serious shift in strategy. Gone are the casual routines. His training camp now exhibits a laser focus on fundamentals and conditioning. Workouts are more methodical, honing technique and boosting endurance. Observers have remarked on Davis's renewed discipline and intensity in the gym, suggesting that he fully understands the stakes this time around. This is more than a tune-up. It's a deliberate recalibration aimed at ensuring he enters the ring sharper, fitter, and more prepared to secure the victory.
Yo, what's going on, fight fans? Check it out. It looks like Gervonta Davis has a new coach. Now, this is Coach Mustafa. He's a well-known coach down in the Atlanta area, and it looks like he's starting to train with him. I know he has that upcoming rematch coming up. It looks like it's slated for June. Now, this coach is known for his working on timing, precision, accuracy. Those are some of the things that this coach is well known for. He's also been training Tevin Farmer for his past 2 fights. Now, what does this mean for Tank? Is he leaving Coach Kyle and Coach Kenny, or adding Coach Mustafa to the team? Is it smart to switch trainers so close to a fight? Let me know what y'all think down in the comments below.
According to the reports, Davis and Shakur Stevenson, both undefeated lightweight champions, are circling a blockbuster unification fight slated for 2025. Stevenson, a slick 3-division king with elite boxing IQ, calls it the sport's biggest showdown and stands ready once Davis clears upcoming commitments. Davis, famed for his devastating knockout power and star appeal, is widely seen as the favorite. Experts assert his aggression and punch potency give him the edge. Stevenson's corner insists a precise, risk-averse strategy is his ticket to victory.
One more question before I go. Why not fight Tank at 135?
Tank ain't gonna fight him, man. He not gonna fight him.
You gotta realize with Tank, he on that other side where he gonna, act
Take
like
all the cupcakes. Alex, say it.
Man, I'm quite sure. Fight you here.
So you saying he don't want to put that record up?
Look,
Shady. Hey, Shady. I know Tank.
Man.
I know Tank, Shady.
I know Tank too.
Let him talk. Go ahead.
Hey, I know Tank too, and I know for a fact at the end of the day, like, he is not jumping into no fight with me. Like, that's a whole different type of atmosphere. That's not like fighting them same
So
dudes.
basically, you telling me Tank scared?
I ain't gonna say the man scared. I'm just saying for a fact
So
that
what
I
you
know
saying?
he not jumping in the ring with me.
Shakur Stevenson passionately believes that a potential showdown with Davis would be his toughest professional test, and he respects Davis's unique threat. He praises Davis for his explosive power, slick skill set, and ability to land the unexpected, calling him a real threat who demands utmost respect. Stevenson characterizes the matchup as the biggest fight in boxing, likening it to an elite rivalry akin to Michael Jordan versus LeBron, where both stars push each other to the limit. He acknowledges that, to prevail, he'd have to stay perfect, no mistakes, because Davis capitalizes instantly. In short, Stevenson sees Davis as the ultimate measuring stick, dangerous, unpredictable, and capable of exposing any weakness.
I honestly believe that me and Tank will be the biggest fight in boxing one day. If he continue on the path that he's on and I continue on my path, I feel like with me and him, I feel like we'll be like the most exciting, most action-packed type of fight.
The former world champion Tim Bradley believes that WBC lightweight champion Shakur is the one who can finally dethrone the unbeaten WBA champ Davis. Bradley confidently states that Stevenson will easily outbox and defeat Tank when they meet in a unification fight. Shakur's defensive skills and ring IQ make him a formidable opponent, and Bradley sees him as the ultimate challenge for Davis.
So, bud. I just got one and all. I know Shakur Stevenson's going to be having a fight coming up. I know there's a lot of pressure of having to perform. Some people have been very critical of, this last fight. He has the free agency thing coming up. Any kind of wisdom, advice, and something for a young fighter?
Shakur don't need me to give him any wisdom. Shakur that guy, man. And call it whatever you want to call it. He ain't gonna be with Top Rank, whatever y'all want to say. You hated this, not. He don't need me to say what he needs to do. Shakur already knows what he needs to do. He's seeing Tank shine. He's seeing Tank get that attention. But his ultimate goal is to be the best at 135 pounds. That's his goal. So he gonna come in feeling some type of way. He gonna come in refocused, dedicated like always, and he gonna show y'all. He gonna show y'all what he's made of on that night when he returns. Trust me, he will. He has that in him, dog. He's different, cut from a different cloth, bro.
He's the one to beat. He's the one to beat Tank. You think?
Yeah, yeah. And call me a hate. I don't give a damn. Yeah, y'all keep coming at me. Keep bringing that hate. Keep bringing that hate, baby. I love it. Keep bringing it. Yes, he beats Tank. He outboxes him. Very easy. No problem whatsoever.
Tim, last one for me. Speaking of Tank, it seems like the ball is rolling, and we may finally get the Vasyl Lomachenko, Gervonta Davis matchup. Just your thoughts on the fight and the fight specifically in 2024.
All right, you're gonna hear from the hater right now, okay? It's a great matchup. I wish that matchup could have happened maybe 4 or 5 years ago when Lomachenko was Lomachenko. However, I still think that the experienced Lomachenko, he has what it takes. He can defeat Tank.
Bradley acknowledges that Gervonta Davis's record is pristine, undefeated, and adorned with highlight reel knockouts. Tank's raw power is undeniable. When he lands, opponents crumble. However, Bradley zeroes in on the stylistic contrast. Shakur Stevenson, with his slick movement, defensive wizardry, presents a different puzzle altogether. Bradley believes that Stevenson's ability to avoid Davis's power shots will be crucial. Amid the speculations of upcoming fight, Davis's alleged fierce response to Shakur underscores just how protective he is of his team and how deeply personal a professional beef this has become. With insults flying over a coach beloved by both men, tensions have reached a boiling point, setting the stage for what could be a historic showdown built as much on emotion as on skill.
Roger never got trainer of the year when Floyd was fighter of the year. Yeah. His dad never got trainer of the year. So, I've been openly expressing that. And I think it's time that Calvin gets his just due.
Yeah. Surprised by Roach and Tank. What do you think the biggest surprise was in the fight?
It wasn't a surprise because we know Roach. It wasn't a surprise. Roach can fight. A lot of people think because a person is not popular, that they don't exist. There's fighters out there that can rumble. They just got to get the opportunity,
Speaking of rematches, Jalil Hackett is getting his opportunity again to fight the guy that he had a controversial loss to. It'll be happening in Florida, I think, next week?
March 15th, I think.
Let's talk about
I'm rocking a major shirt now.
Major and
Yes,
the
sir.
belt. Tell me, how's that rematch look like, and then what's the difference makers coming into this fight?
Did Stevenson go too far, or is Davis's reaction justified? Who comes out on top if their clash finally happens? Drop your takes in the comments below.